Good morning, guys. It is Sunday morning. I hope you had a great week. I'm introducing you guys to a part of our family you guys normally don't get to see unless you're over at the house. And this is Bali. Bali is our pup. We adopted her from the Humane Society. She's a rescue 4 years ago, I think it was. She is a goofball. It took me quite some time to get her to even sit in on this video, so the fact that she's here is a blessing in itself. A lot of times we take Bali out, people ask her what kind of dog she is, and so when she was surrendered to the shelter, they said she was a Catahoula, but it's evident that she's not total purebred Catahoula. She's actually got a lot of other stuff into her too, but she's a sweet pup, super good with kids, super good with other animals too. But I think it's interesting with dogs, especially for those of you that have animals. A lot of times, a lot about the dog is from their species, right? Like what kind of dog it is. Like if it's a Pomeranian, you know it's going to act a certain way. If it's a Lab, it's going to act a certain way. And I think in our own spiritual lives, a lot of times people associate us with the titles that go with our person. Like if someone were to ask who you were, what would they say? Was it a sport that you played, or an art that you're part of, or is it that you're really, really smart, or is it that you're really, really nice? In the book of Acts, early on, chapter 11, actually the first time we see the church called Christians, which means little Christ. And so there was something that they were doing consistently that made them be associated with Jesus in the way that they lived. And so instead of being known for their profession or their family or their sport or whatever, they were known because of their association with Jesus. And there's a passage in the book of John. Let's see if Bali stays in place for this. She's a little skittish. There's a passage in the book of John where Jesus talks about how we're to be known. It's in chapter 13, verse 34 and 35. It says, "A new commandment I give to you, that you love one another just as I have loved you. You also are to love one another. And by this is the part we need to listen to, by this, all people will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another." Jesus was talking about how the world is going to know that we're his disciples. And the way that we know that is by how we love each other. That means how we take care of each other, how we talk about each other. During a time like this with this pandemic, we've been trying really hard to love on our senior adults. And by doing that, we're showing Christ's love. But we also have to make sure that we're loving our siblings the same and loving our parents. And for parents, we need to make sure that we're loving our kids the same and showing Christ in the way that we do that, and our neighbors. And as our nerves get thin and worn out, we've got to make sure that we're still showing love and still demonstrating Christ. Because when people talk about us, we want the first thing that them to say is that we're Christians and that we're associated with Jesus and that we're sold out for Christ, right? Like that's the part of our aspect, the part of our personality that we want known. And so I just want to challenge you guys this week to live that out. The passage in John 13, as far as how people are going to know that you're a follower of Christ by how you love other believers, ultimately. And then, of course, that ties into how we love the lost as well. But instead of being known for our sport or being known for our school or being known for our job or whatever, you fill in the blank with whatever. We want to make sure that we're known by Christ and by our ability to love as Christ loved. So that's my challenge for you guys this week. Hope you've had a great week. As things are starting to kind of slowly open up, we're still working on a plan to get everybody back together, but we don't want to rush. So stay tuned for that. We'll keep you guys in the loop. Hope you're having a great week and stay safe. See you soon.